My grandfather planted the last row of corn on this farm the year he turned 84. Not on a good day. Not with help. Alone in October with the same hand planter he had used for 50 years and the same knees he had carried since before I was born. I watched him do it. I was 12 years old, and I remember thinking that his hands moved slower than they used to, but they never stopped. He came inside when it was done, sat at the kitchen table, and my grandmother put a cup in front of him without him asking. She already knew what he needed. She had been making it for him every morning since before I could remember. My name is Edwin Yoder. I farm the same land my grandfather farmed in Holmes County, Ohio. What was in that cup costs 15 cents to make. It has been on this family's shelf for 4 generations. And the reason a major supplement company is now selling a version of it for $89 a bottle is a story worth understanding before you spend a single dollar on anything. Stay with me because I am going to show you exactly what it is, exactly why it works, and exactly why most people who try it feel nothing. Not because it failed, but because nobody told them the one thing that makes the difference between 15 cents that works and $89 that does not. Here is what most people get wrong first. Turmeric alone does not work. I know that is not what you expected me to say, but it is the most important sentence in this video, and if you leave before I explain it, you will try this, feel nothing, and conclude it is not for you. So stay with me for 60 more seconds. Curcumin is the compound inside turmeric that matters. It blocks a protein called NFKB, one of the primary switches your body uses to trigger inflammatory response in joints and connective tissue. When that switch gets stuck in the on position, which happens in aging joints, the result is chronic swelling, stiffness, and pain that serves no healing purpose. It is just the alarm going off with no fire. Curcumin turns it off. The Arthritis Foundation has published research on this. The National Institutes of Health has funded studies on it. A clinical trial in 2019 found curcumin performed comparably to ibuprofen for knee osteoarthritis with significantly fewer side effects. That trial did not make the news. It did not get a press release. The compound cannot be patented. There is no money in it for anyone. But here is the problem. Curcumin taken alone passes through your digestive system almost completely intact. The body cannot absorb it efficiently in that form. You can eat turmeric every day for a month, and most of it will do nothing because it never makes it past your gut wall. This is why people try turmeric tea, feel nothing, and give up. It is also why the supplement industry exists. They are selling you special delivery systems, liposomal formulations, patented extraction processes, all designed to solve one problem. My grandmother solved it with 2 things she already had on the shelf: black pepper. 1 pinch. That is the whole secret. Black pepper contains a compound called piperine, and piperine increases the bioavailability of curcumin by 2,000%. That number comes from research at St. John's Biosystems, and it has been replicated. 2,000%. One pinch of pepper that costs nothing turns turmeric your body ignores into turmeric your body actually uses. The second thing is fat. Curcumin is fat soluble. It dissolves in fat, not in water. Every recipe on the internet tells you to stir turmeric into hot water. Hot water does nothing for absorption. My grandfather did not drink hot water. He drank warm whole milk. The fat in the milk carries the curcumin through the gut wall the way water never can. That is the entire mechanism. Fat and pepper. Two things my grandmother put in that cup without knowing the science behind either one. She knew it worked. 4 generations of working farmers on this land told her it worked. The science just confirmed it 60 years later. Here is exactly what we make, and nothing about it is complicated. 1 teaspoon of ground turmeric in a cup. 1 pinch of black pepper. Fill it with warm whole milk, not boiling, warm, around the temperature you would give a child. A small spoon of raw honey, if the bitterness is too much without it. Stir until the powder is fully dissolved and the milk turns that deep amber color. Drink it before you go outside in the morning. Before breakfast, if you can manage it. Before the joints have had a chance to stiffen up from the cold every morning. Not 3 times a week, not when you remember. Every single morning from the first cold week of fall through the last frost of spring. My grandfather did not skip days. He treated it the way he treated feeding the animals and checking the fence line. It was not optional. It was part of what kept the farm running. The cost for 1 serving is roughly 15 cents. The cost for a full winter, October through May in Ohio, runs under $10 total for the season. Now, I need to tell you the part that most people selling this information leave out, because I think honesty matters more than a clean story. This is not ibuprofen. It does not work in a day. It does not replace medication that a doctor has prescribed for a serious condition. If you are managing significant joint disease with a prescription, this is not a substitute, and I am not telling you to treat it as one. What it is a daily practice that over 6 to 8 weeks reduces the baseline level of inflammatory signaling in your joints. The change most people notice is not a sudden improvement. It is a gradual one. Fewer mornings where the first hour is just waiting for the body to catch up. Less stiffness when you rise from a chair. Fewer days in a week where the pain is the first thing you think about when you wake up. Give it 6 weeks, same time every morning. If you skip a week and then try it for a few days and feel nothing, that is not a fair test of the method. It is a daily practice. The same way walking every morning is a daily practice. The benefit is cumulative. My grandfather was not pain-free. I want to be honest about that. He was 84, and he had lived a hard life on a working farm, and his body knew it. But he was functional. He was moving. He was planting corn in October. And there is a difference between a man who is in pain and a man who is stopped by it. He was never stopped by it. He passed this farm to my father, and my father passed it to me. The jar of turmeric has been on the same shelf above the same stove for as long as anyone in this family can remember. My wife refills it every fall. She makes the same cup my grandmother made every morning without being asked. Some things do not need to be explained. They just get passed from one hand to the next. If you try this, tell me in the comments. Tell me your age, what joints give you the most trouble, and how long you have been dealing with it. Tell me what state you are writing from. I read every comment on this channel, and I want to hear how this goes for you specifically. If you are not subscribed yet, do it now, because next week I am going to show you what my grandmother made every November, the first week the cough came around. 3 ingredients from the kitchen. Worked overnight on chest congestion that would otherwise sit in the lungs for 2 weeks. The active compound in that preparation was isolated by a pharmaceutical company in 1952, patented, and turned into a product that now costs $40 at the pharmacy. The patent expired decades ago. The plant it came from is still growing, and once you know which one it is, you will never look at your yard the same way again.